Hi, welcome to this game audio demo reel using Unreal Engine and Wwise. This demo contains sound design and game implementation techniques. An extended gameplay is available on my channel. I created a full complex weapon system in Unreal in order to implement my sounds on it. The system allows you to collect weapons, interact with the assets in the map, carry the weapons, aim and fire them, running out of ammo, recharge and do damage. The main goal was to create a full third-person shooter from scratch in order to implement my sounds. Here's a short gameplay showcasing the final work. The following blueprint is responsible for firing the weapon that's carried by the character. I implemented my Wwise AK events here. Each time the player fires a weapon, it triggers a switch container in Wwise where my shot samples are contained. Not only that, the sound of the bullet impacts will change depending on the surface they hit. Thanks to a line trace by channel and a break hit results attached to a switch node that changes the switch container in Wwise. The shells expelled from each gun will sound according to the surface the player is stepping into. I will show this more in depth later on. 3 random containers where I placed my shot samples with randomized pitch and order. All my weapons inherit from a master weapon blueprint that contains the start fire event. Then I created 3 more children blueprints, one for each specific weapon. In each of those, I place a Wwise set switch node and trigger the appropriate sound for each gun. I used this drone 3D model and created a flying AI that will detect and attack the player and play warning voices triggered only at a certain distance. This blueprint is used for my enemy firing system that will attack the player and detect if the bullet hits the player or instead fails and impacts some materials. Wwise will play the correct sound accordingly thanks to the material and location data gathered by the line trace by channel break hit results and connected to the Wwise switch container in Wwise. Here's a sneak peek of all my game syncs in Wwise. When the enemy fails and the bullet passes nearby, a flyby sound is triggered. To accomplish this effect, I attached the collision sphere to my player's mesh and another one to the projectile fired by the drone. This begin overlap event blueprint attached to the bullet collision sphere will play my bullet flyby sound in Wwise every time a bullet will enter the player's sphere. It will also play the sounds at a specific spatial location, giving realism to the effect. The flyby sound should only be triggered when the enemy fails. So I implemented states in Wwise and the enemy weapon blueprint to determine if the player is damaged or not, so the flyby sound would only play when the enemy fails, alongside the material impacts. I wanted my weapons to eject shells after every shot, in order to play specific sounds when the rounds hit the floor. I attached the bullet to the main weapon blueprint and a line traced by channel and a break hit results attached to the switch container model in Wwise. These will detect and play a different sound depending on the surface under the player, and only when the weapon is fired. Also, the sound will remain in the specific location where the round was ejected, giving realism to the effect. I wanted my weapons to sound realistic and adapt to the location where they are shot. So in an outdoor setting, the weapon will have a long realistic echo. While indoors, it should sound with reverb and adapted to the location. I accomplished this using trigger boxes located at each door, and an actor beginning overlap event to trigger a state in Wwise. The state will mute the outdoor reflection when the player is indoors and allow them to sound when he is outdoors. I placed a state node in the level blueprint to determine which state should be the initial one. Also, I created a reverb zone in Unreal to play the sound through a reverb auxiliary in Wwise, so the shots sound reverbed when indoors. I distributed the sound in auxiliary channels in Wwise and used a docking system as a sideshade compression to have a better mix.